The latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Headliner has added auto-posting to YouTube, so you can add your shows there automatically. It uses your episode artwork and title, and you can produce a bespoke template there too. In US company financial results, Cumulus Media says their podcasting business is profitable, but margins are low, and they've hinted at further acquisitions in podcasting. The New York Times says their audio storytelling now reaches 20 million listeners a month, and Graham Holdings, the owner of Slate, CityCast and Pinner, say these businesses all saw revenue increases, but all made losses. The current number 3 podcast in the UK on Spotify is the RSK podcast, and we can reveal that, hosted on Podbean, it consists of 50 pirated episodes of Ricky Gervais's podcasts from 2005 to 2013, from a user who, quotes, "just made this as I wanted a way to listen to these myself on Spotify." Some episodes have been downloaded more than 150,000 times. A search for Ricky Gervais on Spotify also reveals another pirated copy of his XFM shows. iHeart Radio is number 1 for podcasts, says Media Monitors in a new podcast listener survey. Not disclosed anywhere on the Media Monitors website, the company is owned by iHeart Radio. Meanwhile, Podtrac report that The Daily was still number 1 podcast for October, with Audio Chuck's Full Body Chills being the only new entry, and iHeart Radio was still number 1 for podcasts. It measures participating publishers only. Touting a new category of amplified marketing, Casted, a B2B marketing platform for audio and video, has released a new product to measure the effectiveness of audio and video marketing content. Acast is now automatically adding its podcasts to Podchaser, the company's announced. Separately, 2 of Acast's employees, Ellie Dimitroulikos and Shante Howell, have been recognised in the Top Women in Media Awards. The results of the Podcast Editor Academy's industry survey will be announced tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Telltale has been launched. It's a premium factual production company working with Antica Productions, founded by producer Jago Lee. And we promised we'd report back on Amazon's new proprietary podcast transcripts. We've received confirmation from Amazon that podcast publishers are currently unable to submit their own transcripts to Amazon Music. We've more details about transcripts today in our show notes and our newsletter. In People News today, Bradley Tirpak is the new CEO of Libsyn. A professional investor, he's been chairman of Libsyn since August 2020 and a director since October 2019. The company had been without a CEO for over 14 months. Newscast, News Corp's podcast division has hired Tiffany Dimmock as audio editor, Nina Young as audio producer, and Harim Khan as audio producer and journalist. And Megan Davis has been appointed managing director international for Acast, for the countries where Acast doesn't yet have a business unit. And in podcast news, Hooked is the latest podcast from Apple TV+. It's the story of a bank robber, Boeing executive and drug addict. Produced by Campfire Media, it's hosted by Amazon's Art19 and doesn't obviously appear to be linked to a current Apple TV+ show. Smashing Security has just released its 250th episode. The cybersecurity podcast for people who'd never listened to a cybersecurity podcast is 5 years old and has achieved almost 7 million downloads. And History Daily is a brand new podcast from Noiser and Airship, hosted by Lindsay Graham. It went live on Monday, focusing on a slice of history that happened in the past. We could probably have written that better. And that's the latest from our newsletter. For all the links, we're at podnews.net.